think we've done it.
Done what?
I think we're officially influencers.
Why is that?
Second course to invite us to film.
Yeah, back down in England today. Where are we?
We're at Perford Lakes.
Perfect Lakes, yeah. Thanks for having us.
No duffs required.
No, but good to be back on the golf course, mate. It's been a while. But I'm excited to play this. It's good.
I'm excited to chat as well.
Well, yeah, we've flown back down to England, but we've had a guest fly over to England just to appear on the HardHats podcast.
Yeah, but look, we've known Greg inadvertently for a while.
Some mutual clients.
Just from the early conversations we've had off camera, it's going to be like good because it's about hot topics, but from people in the know, not us.
Yeah.
But from Greg.
That's one thing we always say, don't we? We think we know what's going on. Our clients ask us questions, but we don't really get involved day to day with construction.
No, whereas
This guy does.
And has been in it as well.
Apparently, we'll find out.
Let's get the main man in.
Come over.
How are we doing, chaps? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and mate, thank you again for flying the whole way around the world just to be on this.
So for those that don't know you, mate, who are you?
Yeah, so Greg Wilkes. I develop coaching, and we coach builders from about 1 to 5 million.
Yep.
But I'd just like to say I heard this podcast was so good. I've flown 11,000 miles for you. Most expensive golf day I've ever had. I had to buy myself some new shoes, new glove.
And plenty of these.
And plenty of them.
Yeah, plenty of them
we'll get the beers after. So, but no, mate, thank you for coming on. We've got some mutual clients, clear some synergy with what you're doing and what we're doing. There's so much fat we can chew. So let's peg it up, try and hit the green, and then we'll...
Let's see what that Oz golf swing is all about.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, let's go for it.
I think I've got the Oz golf swing being left-handed. So everything's backwards. Oh no.
Gone in the lake.
No, it hasn't.
He's gone in the lake.
No. So mate, we know you as the construction coach, and we've met various coaches now, haven't we?
Yep.
Or people in and around construction, and they've all got varying backgrounds. Some have been in construction themselves, some of them have always been a coach. What's your story then, mate?
Yeah, well, I've been called worse than the construction coach, so that's I'll take that as a compliment. So I've been in construction all my life. So I started when I was 15, 16. Started with my dad as an apprentice. He was a bricklayer and taught me how to be a chippy. So I was always an absolute crap chippy.
Even worse bricklayer.
Yeah, exactly. And then did that we did like loft conversions for about 10 years or so.
Was that with your dad, or did you go out on your own?
No, I did a bit with him first, but I always wanted to start my own business. So I actually started off with a mate of mine, Johnny. He was a roofer, and that was a perfect combo. I was a chippy, he was a roofer, so we thought, let's do lofts. And in a flipping fortune doing loft conversions. There was a real boom in sort of mid-90s, 2000s for lofts, and we were all doing it around Ealing and West London. So it was good. Yeah, we used to earn some sort of top money, and then we grew that business, got to about nearly 5 million sort of turnover with that company, and then it all went wrong. it all went Pete Toggett. It was it's an absolute disaster.
Let's save that horror story for a bit later.
Yeah, we'll save it for later. But basically, in answer to your question, I've been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and felt the pain.
So there's one. I think there's you, Greg.
All good.
Yeah, there will be.
I like this sort of golf.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So you're working with Johnny?
Yeah, so we were together for 7-8 years. Good partnership. We were, best mates, having a good time. Grew the business a decent size, and then I sort of had kids that were coming along and needed a bigger house, bigger mortgage, and he was pretty happy with the status quo. The business was doing quite well, but he didn't really want to grow it. So we had a really painful discussion about splitting the business up. And anyone that's been through that, it's hard. We had to make a decision on what we did, and it was either he bought me out, I bought him out, or we just sort of dissolved the company and went our separate ways. So he said, well, go on, you can buy me out then. It was good, that's what I wanted. I wanted the business, but it brings on a world of pressure, because now all of a sudden you're on your own, business is in a load of debt because I had to buy him out. Well, I was in debt.
I guess not knowing to bounce off either.
No, exactly, yeah. Sometimes you take that for granted when you're on your own. So yeah, it was a hard decision, but it was the right one, because I always wanted to do my own thing. And I think sometimes if you're trying to grow a business and the other person isn't that bothered about doing that, you can start begrudging each other a bit. And, because we were mates, you wanted to keep the mate relationship first.
My brother had a business partner. They split up last year, maybe the year before now. And when George turned round to Bradley and said that was it, he wanted to go, Brad was absolutely beside himself.
Yeah.
Like, when we sat down and we like chatting, I said, mate, if you're not aligned in your dreams, your desires, your wants, it's never going to work.
No, you're pulling in 2 different directions,
Of course
aren't you?
you
And you've got to be.
That's only going to grow wider, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it just gets worse. And so it was the right thing to do, a hard thing to do, but the right thing to do. And he probably thinks it was the right thing to do because when it went Pete Tong for me, he wasn't in it. So he had his exit.
But are you 2 friends still now?
Oh yeah, best mates. Yeah, I saw him last week. We went to a wedding together, and yeah, he's a top bloke. Yeah,
So Dan and I we're mates from school as well, and I've been like, there's 5 of us who have been really close for the last 25 years. So when we decided to start working together, because I'd had previous business partners where it had gone wrong,
Yeah.
I said to Dan, I'm like, no mate, this has to be done properly.
Yeah.
It's got to be clearly documented. There can't be any like, oh no, we'll sort that out later, because I value him more than anything else.
Yeah, well, it's just the right way to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
the problem is you say things sometimes, especially over a beer or something like that, and it's not documented, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I didn't say that, you did.
And it's like, at first it was a bit more difficult for me probably than it was for Dan, but like being really open with your communication.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just hold stuff back. And you probably see this with your clients as well, if they've got like business partners, because we've got a business coach and he often acts like a mediator.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, no, I've got to get it off my chest, because if I don't and the resentment builds in,
That's right. Yeah,
that's when it all goes wrong, doesn't it?
100%. Yeah.
Thing is, that's the thing. When it's going well, it's easy. When it's not going well, that's when you really that relationship has to be strong enough to deal with it. Because if it's weak, and then it goes shit, that's when the cracks go. Hang on a minute. But you've got to want the same thing ultimately.
I must say, like, I was not a little bit burnt by that, but I've never had a partner since. It suits me for now, but at the same time, I can also see sometimes, because I've got other businesses as well, and sometimes I think, actually, if I had someone in this, it'd probably really help me. So, I think you've got to weigh up who you are and what skills you bring to the conversation, and sometimes it works out on your own.
And like you said as well, mate, it's like wants and needs as well, isn't it? If you've got the desire for one of the businesses to grow, then actually bringing somebody in is probably the right thing to do. If you're quite happy with it being a lifestyle business.
That's right.
Yeah.
So then you thought, fuck this, I'll be a coach.
Exactly.
What made you, because you said about you and Johnny splitting, then you went on to grow the business. What made that happen?
I was just hungry for it. So, it was kids, financial pressure. Just thought, I wanted a bigger house. So let's just go all in. Yeah, and I think it's a little bit of proving something to yourself that you can do it. Sort of had this. It's like I always thought I was half decent at business, so I thought, well, come on, I can grow this and I can do it on my own. So
it's mad. It's mad that you say that, right? Because we get all different types of characters on the golf course with us, and one of them was one of our old schoolmates, a guy called Marlon Pack. He plays for Pompey, and he said, and I'll never forget it, it was, am I proving others wrong or myself right?
Yeah.
And I think all of us, whether it's sportsmen like Marlon or Toby, or business people like you and I, we're all doing it for that inner demon.
Yeah, you are trying to prove something. The problem is with that is you can tie it to your identity a bit. When my business went wrong, that's when I felt it. Because then you felt like you were a bit of a failure, because you tied everything to your identity. If you're good at business, you're a success. If if something goes wrong in business, you're a failure.
Yeah, I get that. It's funny you say that, because we had Brad Dad, didn't we, on the podcast with us a couple of episodes ago, and he talks about the script, which is that voice in your head, and it's that definition of success. Wants. It's when the wants and needs cross, right?
Yeah.
When I get to that 5 million, I'll be successful. You get there and you're like, oh.
You got to enjoy the journey. It can't be about the destination, because the destination moves all the time. You get there and then it's like, let's move the marker a bit further forward.
Don't you think, and we'll label them failures, but do you think they've enabled you now to be a better person in what you do?
Mate, I mean, I wouldn't be a coach for starters if I hadn't have gone through that. One of the biggest points about it is I sort of vowed I'd never let it happen again. And and if you don't learn the lessons,
once experience, twice as ignorance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Free part is a no-no.
Is that bird putt? Start.
Oh, heads up. Sorry, mate.
You've clearly gone back into business. You're clearly growing. So how do you exercise that ambition to not want to grow as quickly again?
Yeah, so maybe I probably needed to rephrase it. So growing quick is fast if you're in control. What was my problem was I grew out of control and was trying to cover over all the cracks. I think what a lot of builders don't appreciate is they don't know their numbers. So I think if you are going to grow, you can grow quick, but you've got to be able to know exactly, well, if I am going to grow that much this year, what my overhead's going to be, what's my ideal project value, how much gross profit do I need to make? Then you can grow. You know,
So more disciplined.
Yeah, disciplined growth. Yeah,
I
around
suppose.
your numbers, because the numbers don't lie.
No, I'll be honest, we know our numbers, but Dan will often come to me and say, what's our fixed overheads? I'm like, I don't know.
But we knew that when it was just you and I, and relatively small, and like it's budget growing, people responsible for budgets, and you got to sort of carve bits out. And we're growing quick, and it's like so much goes in the pot, you can't keep handling it all on your own.
Yeah, that's it. And the numbers are sometimes different because you bring on a project manager, you go, right, that PM's going to cost me 60 grand a year, but it's not 60 grand. You got, you know, company car, pension, you know.
It's 100.
Yeah, exactly. Well, sorry, ball around.
Watch
Yeah.
out, it's hot. It's hot, that ball. It's birdie ball. You're bang on right, but I personally find it really difficult, and it's probably one of the weaknesses in me, that where we have our fixed costs, but then you have so many variable costs each month. We'll say, right, we need to bring on a new hire, so there could be some recruitment fees, or we're doing some investment in the technology, so there's some app development fees.
You think about that for builders then, when they're on a project and the project costs, all of a sudden the materials go up.
Yeah, of
and
course,
the subby
yeah.
comes in at a higher rate, and they think, well, I thought I locked in 30% gross profit margin, but actually, you know, they're under pressure, so that can be tough, you know.
So do you recommend locking in a higher percentage, or trying to factor that in knowing that you're going to lose 10-15%?
Yeah, no, we say aim for between 25 and 30% gross profit.
Yeah.
What a lot of builders do is they'll look at the big guys, like, you know, whoever, Persimmons and all that, and they might be at 10%. And they think, oh, I should only be charging 10%. It doesn't work like that. You've got to be 25 to 30%, and then you might get knocked back a little bit. But generally speaking, you're going to be good if you can go at those sort of rates.
If you walk away with 15-20, that's still quite nice.
Yeah, because most fixed overheads are going to be around 10 to 15. So if you're at 25 and then you've got 15 in your fixed overhead, you're down to 10% net profit for the year, which they'll take as dividends, which is about right.
Of course, and if you're doing a 5 million, it's nice money.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
hear all the time where the profit's tied up in the retention. So factor that in.
And that's hard, and it's sometimes hard to get the retention out.
Exactly. And when you do get it, is that a deal? You have to make a deal with the QS, and actually that 10% has gone down to 5%.
That knowing your numbers piece, is that one of the first things you do when a new client onboards with you?
First thing you do is we map out where are they at now, and then we do like a 12-month forecast of where we're actually going to get to over this year.
Right.
And they might say, I want to do it like this, and that's fine. We'll listen to them. I mean, I had one guy come on. He said he was at $1 million. He said, I want to hit 5 million in the first year, and I went, are you sure? He flipping hit it. He hit it unbelievably. Yeah. But that's rare. You know, that most people won't do that.
Anything's possible, isn't it? It's just,
Well, he would have worked hard for that.
yeah.
Oh, he was waiting 24 hours.
And it's one of those where, and I'm sure you see this, we see it when we're talking to clients, they're buying any project, and that's when the problems arise.
That's right.
So you're not taking that, anyone can get 5 million quid's worth of work, but if it costs you 5.5 to deliver it,
Yeah.
Like what you said about bums on seats.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you need more people to do the project, actually you're better off staying at level you're at.
yeah, feeding the monster, you end up
Churning
feeding the
25.
monster.
Yeah.
Right, let's go and see if we can take it off the tee properly. So those lessons then.
Yeah, lots of lessons. The biggest one I would take from it, and we sort of tell everyone this now, is just doing sustainable growth. So I think the first thing was I was so obsessed with growing, we were going at such a pace that we couldn't keep up with it. So, you know, winning a lot of work, and then you end up hiring just to put a bum on a seat, and you just bring the wrong people on board. You know, I had some absolute nightmare hires. I had one bloke, he come from multiplex, and, you know, interviewed amazingly. He was a bit weird. And I remember the other director who was in with me, he said, I said, what do you think of him? And he goes, oh, he's a bit eccentric, isn't he? And I realised there's a fine line between an eccentric and an absolute lunatic. And he was a lunatic. And he come on board, and his first job, we give him a 500 grand refurb to look after. Within 2 weeks, he was telling the client how to get out of contract with us, and he stole the 500k contract. It's unbelievable, right? Yeah. Absolute nightmare.
Don't you find though, you wouldn't marry your wife after an hour and a half interview. So when you're getting into bed with these people after an hour and a half, and some of them are coming in like real senior roles, it's crazy.
Yeah. And the problem is now with, you know, everyone can knock out a good CV on ChatGPT, you know what I mean? So everyone looks amazing on paper. And some people can interview really well, but yeah, until you actually get them going. But the problem is, to get them going, you might have them on a big contract. I mean, references is the key, but sometimes that's hard to get decent references, or you get lazy and you don't ask.
Yeah, and you don't get one, but that doesn't necessarily, because they could have had a row with the person. You know what it's like, some of the best bricklayers in the world will turn up on site, they've had a row with their missus on the way in, told to Foxtrot Oscar, and it's just circumstance.
Yeah. Thrive under the pressure. That's where I was aiming. Sharp.
Oh my God, you hit a flag.
Very nice. Divot to repair when you get up there.
So we've spoken about margin, right? And of course that drives everything, but when you work with businesses, or what you've seen from the industry itself, we have an ICP, like an ideal client profile, but do you see that with builders as well?
Yeah. So we were talking about scaling earlier, and like what's the ideal way to scale? The first thing is, and where we went wrong, is we were trying to scale a 5 million business running 150, 250k projects, and that's a lot of projects to have to deliver. So we say, look, the ideal way to scale is try and level up your ideal client. So if you can level up the project value that you're doing as a builder, so we'll find that most of the builders that are successful with us, that they might start at 150k, but then they end up winning £1 million projects. So now a 5 million builder who's only doing 5 projects a year has got a lot less stress than the one trying to do that.
Don't chase more work.
Yeah, better work.
Better work.
Better work. Bigger and better clients.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but for anyone watching this then, who's at say £1 million and they want to get to the 5, what would you, and to get win that better work, what would you say the top 3 things to do?
So you've got to look like a company that can deliver £1 million projects. So if you go on your social media or your website, what do you look like? If I look at it in 5 seconds, I can decide, are you capable of delivering this or not? So that's the first thing. Sort your brand out and your social media. And then we say, so our marketing strategy, which we teach is slightly different to others, is we say if you want to win those bigger projects, you've got to go after architects. There's no point trying to win a client. Go for the architect, because the architect is the one that's sitting on those £1 million project. No customer says, let me find a builder to deliver my £1 million project. Of
course not.
Let's design it first. So they're the first 2 things you've got to do, and then it's about how do you sell yourself to both the architect and the client, and then it's about making sure you've got the case studies and the credibility around it, good brochure, that sort of thing.
We are a business, I see us as a business, but when I think of builders, and this is no dish, I always think of my old man. He had a construction company in the late 90s, 2000s, as yours dad. My dad didn't have any of that.
No.
He didn't even have...
They were the website, they were sales, they were your social media, it was them.
But that's why my dad was always a bricklayer, and he was on the tools. He's still on the tools now. He's 74 and he's out working today. He loves it. He didn't want anything else, which is fine. If you enjoy doing the tools and you don't want to grow, that's okay. But we're growing businesses, so that builder's got to level up. He's got to do that, otherwise you won't get anywhere.
And how do you find like your clients in terms of being receptive to that sort of change? Because no one likes change, and whenever we chat with clients, they'll always be, I'm happiest when I'm back on site.
Yeah.
They want to be with the lads. So, how do you find they are when when they're making that change?
Well, you can't force anyone to do it. So I think most people that come into coaching, they're coming in either because they're hungry and want to grow fast, or they're coming in because they're in trouble. Yeah,
right,
no one really comes in because everything's great.
Yeah, sure.
You don't need a coach.
Yeah.
So most people's mindsets are generally right when they come in, and then I think what happens then is they get into a group of growth-hungry builders, and they're seeing really successful people in there that have applied these strategies, and then they think, actually, I want some of that as well.
Yeah.
And then they're more receptive.
They've already made the decision that something's going to change.
Yeah.
And then it becomes that herd mentality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the power of a community.
Well, I'm sure that's not the only thing that changes businesses.
No.
But I've just stuck one about 2.5 foot.
That's mine.
No, yours is the one below the hole, mate. You've got the uphill. Let's see what let's hold these, and then we'll see what the other strategies are. Missed it. you're on the inside, so you're seeing frontline of construction like day in, day out. Where do you see it in the next 5 to 10 years then, with AI and automation and overseas working?
So this year already we're seeing these agents. If you actually think about what that means, we're talking about entire roles being replaced by one agent or 10 agents, whatever it needs to be. So just give you an idea of what I'm building in my business. I've created like the perfect $100 million org chart. Say for example, you take the marketing department, you think, right, what would be one of those roles that an agent could take over? So one we created the other day was an SEO agent. So we said, how do we create the best SEO agent in the world? And then we come up with a playbook. So ChatGPT or Claude gives you the playbook of how to make that ideal agent. Took probably about a day to fully optimize it. Bear in mind, a builder wouldn't be able to do this in a day. This is us doing it because we're heavy into coding. And it's churning out blog articles, putting them on, processing them on our WordPress website. I've got multiple businesses, so we've done that for all of the different businesses. And now that agent can now be given as a skill to a builder and go, here, that agent's built for you, so you can go and use it now. The business as it grows, you can literally replace almost every role, or if you don't replace every role, you can at least double or triple in size and keep the same headcount as what you got.
Isn't there a problem? I'm just hearing what you're saying there, and I 100% agree with it. But normally, those sort of, I call them minion jobs, but someone comes through, fresh out of college, university, whatever, you give them the easy work. But if you've got an agent doing all the easy work, what does the kid out of school do?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so this is why we're going to see a world of turmoil in the next 2-3 years. You're going to see all those jobs just disappear. So I've got mates that have lost their jobs that do all that digital marketing. It's like a lot of it is under pressure, so you've got to differentiate yourself in some way. Creative roles, that's not going to go. Construction's not going to go. It's going to be a long time before the robots sort of take over and start building.
Hopefully.
So they're pretty. I think you're safe for a while.
Robot. Contract for that.
But it's coming. When you said a 5-year time frame, it's coming, and it'll be big in 5 years.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I read somewhere a while ago that they said the next wave of millionaires was coming from construction, and they're probably right, because you can have a small team delivering 10 million quid a year.
And it's funny because on a selfish note, I was thinking for me, coaching wise, what does the future look like for me? And I was thinking, actually, I think there's going to be a massive role in retraining people to get into construction as a coach.
Yeah.
Because I think you're going to have loads of people accountants, lawyers potentially, that are going to get wiped out and go, well, what do I do?
That's like us, man. Like, people think we just do contracts, but we protect working relationships. That's what we protect. AI is never going to stand in the dock against the revenue.
No.
But they'll do a contract for you, probably a decent one.
Businesses will always run through people. Don't you find it like it's the white to the eye? Construction is that white to the eyes. It's those.
Construction is, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think the face of businesses will still be people, but it's that bit. And I also think people will have nicer lives because of it as well. You look at my wife's a lawyer, right, and she's stressed out. And I've said to her multiple times, like, start leaning into Claude or to Codex just to compare.
Yeah.
Not to actually do the work.
Yeah,
but the fear is that it can do your job.
Yeah.
I think that's the fear. I think those sort of jobs where you're reviewing stuff, you're writing contracts to law, there's a skill to it, sure, but like anything, if it's the same, you can train something to do it. If it's the same each time, you can train AI to do it, isn't it?
Is a lawyer that's using AI is always going to beat the lawyer that's not. So I think you've got to, it's going to be a while before they're completely replaced. You've got to embrace it. If you don't embrace it now, you're left behind.
Yeah,
for sure.
Man, the danger is people think they can do it because they've got AI. The man on the street, I can do a contract. I can put this tender together. You still need to have that little bit of knowledge of whatever field that you're in to apply it to that AI agent. But just talking in, like I said a second ago, I think that just dawned upon me now, what are the kids going to do? Make the tea, they can do that, but like do the emails, do that spreadsheet, give me a report, those jobs will be gone.
They'll be the ones creating the bots.
But no, the bots will be creating the bots, won't they?
Yeah.
Have you seen Terminator?
Well, yeah, true. Well, I need a bot for putting. So.
Yeah. There's not a bot for your golf game yet.
No.
Well played, mate.
Enjoyed that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Mate, thank
guys.
you.
That was worth flying.
I felt like we could chat forever.
Yeah.
It'd
We'll
be-
do it again.
There's a lot of food for thought, even in our business. We're always talking about what can be improved and how we do it. And I think the tech, construction, it won't be left behind because construction tech's always been, at odds. But I think it's so easy now to use tech.
Yeah.
And ideas you've said there for construction business owners, we can do in our business.
Of course we can.
I don't think it's some sort of darker, or it's only for this industry. I think AI is for everyone.
Oh yeah, it's applicable to all. Everything I teach, I'm putting in my own business as well.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Just need to work out on a pint stroke.
Oh.
Thanks again, mate. But for people who want to find you, mate, find out more about you online, where can they do that?
Yeah, develop-coaching.com or Instagram, greg.wilkes.coach. Yeah, I'm around, just Google me. Yep.
Face-to-face meetings in Australia next week?
Yeah, if you want to fly over, no problem.
Is it Royal Melbourne, the track down there? That's quite nice.
It's a nice one, yeah, I'll take you there. Fly out, I'll take you there.
Done. Thanks again, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.